Hi, Karen. Oh,
Hi there. I might need to log out and log back in because it's not letting me claim the host key for some reason.
shoot.
Why? It's always something. Let's see.
I don't know. And they always are upgrading it, so then everything changes.
Exactly. And then sometimes I go, let me see what it's not. I did it last time, so you think I could get it this time. 3 dots, invite participants. Oh, there we go. Claim host. Okay. Claim host. It's 380101. 3801. All right, and then what do I need to do? CC live transcript. Let's see. I'm following my very good directions from Sherry.
Yeah.
Okay, I think I'm good with what I need to do for our meeting purposes.
Okay.
Oops. Oh, there we go.
Good morning. Good afternoon. Karen, can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay, I'm on my phone. I'm on the Cape and I can't get my computer to connect.
Oh,
it's connected to
I'm jealous.
Wi-Fi. It's
I wish we need to have our next meeting on the Cape with you. We'll all come down.
Yeah, we'll
Yeah.
come visit.
that's a nice thought, isn't it?
I know,
Yeah.
right? I'm
Quiet
sure
here.
the town could swing that, you know.
Well, we could put it on the expense report as something different.
Right.
Field
Personnel
trip
expenses.
field trip costs or
Training.
something.
Field trip, right? Road trip.
Bus fees.
Where are
Housing
you?
it.
I'm in Chatham.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm usually here for much longer. My sister, one of my sisters who lives in Denver, she comes for 5 or 6 weeks every summer. This is the tail end of it, but I usually spend a good chunk of time with her, but I didn't this year because I was in England. My son got married, which was all wonderful. That was wonderful.
Lovely.
And then I got COVID. So I'm having
shoot.
a few little days at the end here.
Oh, gosh.
Anyway, all good. How was your summer? How have your summers been?
Oh, mine was great.
Good. Did you stay in town or you go away? Where do you go, Flo? Do you go somewhere?
We went to well, we go to New Hampshire a lot. We have a
Yeah.
place up there, so we've been back and forth. But we did go to Maine, York Beach for a few days with my daughter and her family. So that was good fun.
That's nice. Yeah, that's nice.
Yeah.
How
And it
about you,
was
Karen?
when it was blazing hot, so it was good
Oh,
because
I know.
we were right near the water. So as long as there's a beach, I don't care.
How about at night? Did it cool down a little bit at
It
night?
does. It did. And the place we were staying was air conditioned. So
Oh, that's good.
yeah,
That's
it was
good.
fine. It was very good.
This is interesting. I don't usually go to Zoom on my phone, but everything that is being said is I have like closed captions.
Yes.
It's interesting.
Great.
I turned that on. We have to for the town.
Okay, well, I didn't know it would show up on the phone. That's interesting.
Oh,
Yeah,
I see. It's been enabled, but I don't see it on mine, but lucky you.
I know it's funny. I don't see it on mine either. So it's interesting that it will be on the phone and not on my laptop.
Well, usually there's a button at the bottom on the computer. You have to enable it. Not enable it, but show CC is what the,
Oh,
Oh, yeah, I see that, but you don't have that, right?
well, I'm on my phone. If I have it on my computer, but
Right, but it's not on the phone.
no, it's just, I'm just seeing this captions.
so we have two that are not coming tonight. So we're only missing Joanne, I think, because
Are we gonna have a
Christine can't
quorum? Well, I don't know.
Yeah.
Even know. I think three a quorum is three a quorum. What's the rule? No, we don't have to vote on it. Oh, there's Maureen. Hi, Maureen.
Yeah, you can't see everybody, I think, at the same time on the phone.
No, but I saw you when you came. in your kitchen or somewhere.
Yeah,
Somebody's
my son behind me making dinner.
Yeah.
that's nice.
Well, we'll be over afterwards.
That's good. It's good to see him doing that.
Yeah, well, we make dinner most nights, but some nights everybody's kind of on their own.
Yep, yep.
Everybody's old enough.
If you want to eat, you got to know how to cook something, right? Or prepare something.
So Susan, your son got married in England? How cool.
He did, yeah. He's lived there, and my daughter-in-law, they've lived there for the last 5 years. They're
Nice.
so they actually left London yesterday though, because which had been the plan all along. Their wedding was postponed for a year because of COVID.
Yeah.
So, but they are working their way back to the States, and they'll be back here by Thanksgiving. But in the meantime, they're in Malaysia right now, and they'll be going to Cambodia and Thailand and Vietnam and Australia. One of those things, you don't do it now.
Wow. Yeah, yeah. Oh, what a trip. My God.
Yeah, so they're both on a little sabbatical from work, and then we'll head back here. She's never lived in America. She's a Malaysian citizen, and has, as I said, been in the UK herself for 6 years, I think, working for 6 years. So it's cold here. She's been here. So I'm just praying that she doesn't hate the cold too much. Malaysia is right on the equator,
Right.
so it's but
They're coming back in November. They'll get all the cold.
I know.
Yeah, I know.
Just at the beginning.
I know. But she's excited. I think she's excited about it, and her family, they're kind of all over the place anyway. And everybody travels, so I think as long as they live somewhere with a nice guest room,
They'll be happy.
she'll be happy. Yeah, she's a great woman. I'm really happy for both of them. But
Oh, good.
yeah, so, and I just met today, just this afternoon, I met my I have 3 sons, but another son had a new baby this summer. It's his second, and I hadn't met her yet, so I met her today for the first time, which was exciting also to, that new baby noise and smell and everything.
Oh, how sweet.
Aw, congratulations.
Yeah,
Thank you.
congrats.
It's been a busy summer for my kids.
Good. That's good stuff, though.
Yeah, absolutely.
Gotta love some baby time.
Yeah, yeah, and she has a 2-year-old sister, so
Sure.
yeah, so it's a lively place right now with the newborn and the 2-year-old.
2-year-old. Okay, great.
So who else was coming, Karen?
Just Joanne. Christine can't come, and Suzanne can't come.
Suzanne can't come, yeah. So you didn't hear from her, right? From
I
Joanne?
did not hear from Joanne, no. And I
Okay,
resent, I don't know if everybody got I resent Sherry's link with
Yeah.
the minutes and the budget sheet. So I didn't hear back from her
Yeah.
from that one either.
So
Well,
is, Karen, are you part of what would be a quorum, or does it have to be just, how does that work? Do we know? Because if you are, then we have a quorum. If you're not, then
I think so, but
we're
I
three
don't,
missing.
I don't know. I would think so, but I don't know. Did Judy used to vote on things?
No, you're not part of the board.
no, I don't think you can vote. Yeah, I don't think
No.
you can vote.
I thought a quorum usually though is 3. Well, for my board,
three.
it's 3.
Okay,
Well,
oh, good. So it's 3 out of 6 then? That makes what are we, 6? We're 6
We're
ordinarily.
six, we're 6 now.
3,
Yeah.
4, 5, 6,
6.
7.
7?
Who's the
7. No, was 7.
No, are
Seven
you
is
counting?
me. Six without me.
Yeah, don't count Karen. I think we have 6 members.
Yeah.
So,
So 3 is a quorum when there are only 6? Okay, I thought a quorum had to be like more than half, no?
I can
Well,
Google
why
it.
don't
I
we
don't
do
know.
this? Why don't we get started? The things we're
Yeah.
gonna vote on, which are just minutes and reports, I think. If we can tentatively approve them, and then if we find out otherwise,
Mhm.
we'll take a vote next time. How's that sound?
Sounds good.
All right, so I'm calling the meeting to order. Hello, everyone, September, mid-September already, believe it or not. Nice to be back in the swing of things, I guess. And so the first order of business is the minutes, which if you had a chance to look at them, came today or yesterday, I don't know. Is there, Maureen and Flo, did you get a chance to read them?
I did.
Flo, you wrote them,
Yeah.
right?
I wrote them, so.
Yes, Joanne. Perfect
Okay.
Oh,
timing.
good, Joanne's here, excellent.
Now we're quorum.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes of the July 13th, 2022 meeting.
Okay, thank you. Second? I'll second. All in favor? Joanne, do you want to vote for the minutes, Joanne?
Yeah,
Wherever
she
you are.
did. She waved.
Okay, good. Okay, thank you. All right, good. Financials, we have July and August to look at.
Yes, so,
One comment about one of the headings on one of them, I don't have it in front of me because but one of the headings,
change it. Yeah, I see that now.
okay, so if you could just change that for the record.
What are we
Okay.
changing?
The
I missed
heading
the
on one of,
Oh, it says May.
Yeah, I just fixed it.
okay,
Oh,
thanks.
I see, sure, yeah, okay. And this is really just my, thing, I'm sorry. So on that line, no, line 5, it says personal expenses, it should be personnel expenses, just
Oh,
Okay.
thank you. I was wondering
because
about
those
that.
aren't your expenses, Karen.
No, they're definitely not my expensive.
That would be a good category for the trip to the Cape though, wouldn't it?
Oh, definitely. Yeah, sure. I think 222,000, that would do it, or 16, I guess, to date. Mike, block your ears.
It's just a joke, Marie. We're not really gonna do it, but I'm on the Cape, so. Okay. So are there anything anybody wants to ask, or Karen, you want to tell us anything?
No, it's pretty straightforward right now as far as expenses at the beginning of the fiscal year. We're on track. That I think the more notable thing about this that we're pretty excited about is at the bottom with our center stats, because our August participation for programs and classes was up to 1,031.
Yeah, look at that. Wow.
Oh, wow.
Gym's up and the transportation's up, so it's been really busy. So I think that's been good.
And that's
Excellent.
August, huh?
That is a good sign.
Yeah, and we added 2 classes in September, so I anticipate that's going to go up by a good amount because one of them is already full with a wait list and the other one is well attended too.
Now, when the wait list, which is actually why I went back to try to find the newsletter the other day, but the wait list, so are people in the class if let's say a class fills up and you start a wait list, would you kick people out that don't live in Wakefield to bring in? Hi,
No,
Liz. No.
we're prioritizing the wait list, Wakefield people on the wait list. So as people
Okay.
leave Wakefield residents, we're not kicking anybody out, but the Wakefield residents get bumped to the top of the wait list.
And how often do people from the wait list get into the classes, would you say?
We're doing some movement now because I'm going class by class and calling participants to see if they're going, because it's taking a lot of work. So having to do class by class to see who's coming and actually checking in, who's only coming once a month that doesn't realize, hey, we really need you coming more, or not staying on the list. So
Yeah.
that's been my project I started last week. I have a tax work-off volunteer who's helping me organize the list because they're a big mess. So after she's organizing the list, and I am calling everybody to see. So we did have some movement in one of the classes. And we're working with the instructor. So I think we're going to have some movement, but honestly, once people get in the class, they tend to stay. So there's
Yeah.
not a ton of movement on the wait list.
Yeah. I know that's a something that you've been wrestling with ever since you came on board, and was something that got wrestled with before, but especially when the pandemic came, it really got, was pretty obvious that it wasn't necessarily a system that was working well for everyone, unfortunately. So,
Yeah,
okay.
pre-pandemic, they didn't do it. They were just open classes, but Zumba, for example, would have 50 and 60 people show up. So we had to limit now for instructor and participant safety. So it has been challenging. Some of the classes have really long wait lists, although a lot of them are non-Wakefield people. The class is mostly Wakefield, but we've been struggling with it too, to try and find an equitable solution, but it's really hard to find one, because we can't go the route of saying we're going to go like some of the yoga studios in town where you have to sign up electronically first, because that puts a disadvantage to some of our participants. So for now, this is the fairest that we can figure out. We try to add more offerings and prioritize. We're going to add an extra aging backwards class, and we're offering the spots to all of the waitlist people first, so that they can at least be offered one class.
Oh, good.
So we're
So
trying
Karen,
to.
do people have to sign up every month, or like once you're in a class, you're in forever, or how does that work?
Yeah, once you're in, you're in. It would be, I don't think we can manage having everybody sign up for the number of classes we have every month.
Yeah. Just thinking about, like, what about people that don't, that get their bulletin mailed to them, versus people who get it on email, and there's a 4 or 5 day head start. I don't. It's just something to think about. I'm just, and then by the time the people that get it in the mail might call,
for new classes, we set a date. So to keep it fair, we'll say signups will begin on October 5th.
Okay.
Oh, good.
That's what we do with the trips too.
What do you do
That's
in the aging backwards class?
So the new aging backwards class is going to start in October. It's going to be in the newsletter, but we're going to offer this. It's going to be an afternoon class on Wednesdays. We're going to offer the spots to the people on the Tuesday and Thursday waitlist first, so that they can switch to the aging backwards. And then if there are any spots after that, it would be advertised as this is the day the classes begin for sign up.
What do you do in that class?
And you could come and watch one if you want. It's an exercise class, but it's geared. I haven't taken it yet because it's generally full, so I don't want to take up space. But it gets rave reviews for all of the participants. It's just incorporates a whole total body workout. Strength, stretching, cardio.
Yeah. I think it focuses on like balance and like strength and prevent falls. All that stuff is sort of the key to that program.
Yeah, and
Is that a named program from like NCOA or something like that, or is that just
Not that I know of. Jill, we have many similar ones. So Jill was going to be doing 3 aging backwards. We have a physical therapist who teaches functional fitness, which is very similar to aging backwards. And then we have a physical therapist who teaches strong and steady. And that one is definitely a fall prevention strength workout.
Oh, okay.
Group, because they have some more one-on-one time. And Jill is also going to be doing for us in October the Exercise on My Mind Again, which is a 5 or 6 week program. So you sign up for a limited time, and that one's going to be the same. We're going to say on October, I have to pick the date when I do the newsletter this week, on October 5th, so that it gives everybody fair time to see the newsletter when signups open.
Excellent, excellent. I'm going to bring this up because it's part of my thing that I bring up and be a nudge about. The title Aging Backwards, to me, it has a negative connotation of aging. So I'm just, functional fitness is great, strong and steady, all that's great stuff. Those are great names. But, aging backwards, as I become more aware of ageism kinds of things, when I hear titles like that, or names for products, or names for whatever, feels to me like, well, what's wrong with aging forward? Nothing.
Yeah.
Aging forward in power, or something. So there's no request in there. It's just an awareness thing right now that I'm bringing up.
I see what you're saying. I agree. I also don't think it really tells you anything about the class in the title.
There'd be the little description in the bulletin probably, but yeah.
Yeah, there is. There's a description, I think.
So just as we, do our
Yeah.
age-friendly community work of it, it's what things get labeled too that sometimes can lead to perceptions that aren't accurate or that are negative of older people.
Yeah, maybe a name like active aging, or something else that portrays aging a little bit more positively.
Aging graceful.
There we go. Graceful aging.
Gracefully. Aging gracefully. I don't know.
Powerful aging.
Yeah, I think aging with power or something.
Yeah.
But it's great. It's the main thing is that there's more opportunity for people, and the name thing we can wrestle with more later, but that's great, Karen, that there's more activity going on and more people can get in, and some of the systems are being tweaked to make it a little more accessible or even fair, for equitable for people who maybe have been frustrated with not being able to get in. So that's great. Good work.
Thank you.
Karen, what is the number that you cap the classes at? Is there
30
a
is
number?
what we're doing at. But what we are trying to do, we're working with the instructors to bump it up to 35, because rarely is the whole class there. So we are bumping it up more to give that cushion so that we can try and let as many people as possible participate.
I see.
But we don't want more than 30 at a time in the room.
Right. So, like on average, how many activities have less than that 30 in it? I'm just trying to get at this issue with, the wait list and.
That's what I'm starting to go through class by class now.
Yeah.
The numbers for me. Typically, it depends on the person.
I see.
Drums typically has 24. Joey's classes have a little bit less, so we're going to bump up those lists because we have some that no show. Alice's classes typically have in the upper 20s because her classes you're required to pay for the whole month up front.
Oh, that's me. That's me.
I see.
And Jill's classes, so we're trending that to see, and that's
Yeah.
new activities coordinator on board. They can really monitor it more closely, so we can see, hey, this person hasn't come in a month.
Sure.
We can call them and say, so we can keep movement. So once we have the new activities person in there, that's going to be one of my first charges to them, is getting the exercise trying to manage the exercise program more so we can have more movement.
Sure.
I'm here. I just don't have a picture. So
Here, perfect.
And just
We'll have like,
the activity. Were you able to hire a new activities person yet? I know that was kind of in the works, right?
so we've offered the position to somebody as of today. So I was sad that we didn't get an acceptance back yet so I could share anything with you, but hopefully we've offered the position to somebody with a lot of experience who would be a wonderful addition to the team. And as soon as I know, I will email everybody so that you know who we've hired, and hoping to get them on board by mid-October, because Marianne and I it's survival mode over here right now
I
because it's so busy,
imagine, yeah,
and there's the two of us.
yeah, that must be tough.
So we're excited, but hopefully this person accepts, because I think you'll all be very happy with who it is.
Oh, good. So you'll send it out as soon as you hear from that person, if there's when you
Yes.
officially can announce, you'll let us know before next month.
As soon as we have the signed offer letter, I will send an email out.
Right.
I was hoping I was going to come in tonight to the signed letter, but no such luck.
Oh, that's okay. Great. Oh,
Is this
good.
person available to start as soon as possible?
In October.
October, okay. We're getting off the track. So let's come back to the
Yeah.
financials just for a minute. And
Mhm.
hi, Mike, and the participation reports. Any other questions or comments, or Karen, you want to tell us anything else about them?
No, I think that's it. We've just been very busy, lots of phone calls, lots of outreach. We're working on that too. We're currently tweaking it to capture better, and I have to add it to the report to separate it out more so you can see how many outreach calls Beth Greenberg is making, how many, if I'm helping with any outreach, how much Dave Mengen is doing for veterans. So we're working on that, how to capture it and adjust my report so that I can show that.
Okay. Excellent.
Because Beth has been really busy. We've been busy with outreach questions, and we're getting into shine season and
Right.
Oh, right.
and fuel assistance. So we're going to get busy with those. So for the next meeting, my goal is to at least be able to show that a little bit more, to have it
Mhm.
separated out. We've added it as a tab button on the check-in, but some of the people who come for those things are not participants. So we don't always capture them. So we're figuring out a way that we can do that. So we can capture non-participants that don't have the key fob as receiving service.
I
Okay.
wonder, it wouldn't be too difficult, I wouldn't think. How many shine counselors do you have there? One or two?
Two.
You know, I mean, they know they have to do a report on every visit, so even if
It's
it's a
just,
phone, yeah, to get
I
just
think
get
it's
a
just
number.
getting us in the habit of reporting it. Like if Beth
Yeah,
calls,
yeah,
people are getting in the habit of giving Marianne the 3 names. So I think it's just forming that habit of doing it.
yeah,
So that's,
yeah.
we're working
Yeah.
on that.
Okay, yeah.
We need
Okay.
a motion to accept the financial report.
Yeah, Maureen, are you making it?
Sure. I make a motion to accept this is 2 months, right? July and August,
July and August, yep.
July and August financial report.
Second. Who is that? Oh,
That was
Liz.
Liz, yeah.
Hey, Liz.
All in favor? Yes.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, good. Thank you. All right, director's report, I think we've touched on a little bit already, but
Yeah, I think we've touched on most of it. We did add for this month, we added chair yoga and line dancing. Chair yoga is pretty much full, which is good. I think a lot of people have come and enjoyed it. So we're pretty full with exercising. We're really looking to start adding some more educational type programming. We do have it's fall prevention month. So we do have a fall workshop with our physical therapist next week. And she's going to be doing a gait analysis after that. The blood pressure clinics are another thing we're going to start. We are tracking now, but how to track the non-participants, but those have been well attended. So that's been a nice addition. And mindful crafting, for example, has booked up with all 20 participants, which is usually her max. So that's been really popular.
well, okay.
I think it's good. We're just wanting to keep getting the word out there that we're here. I sent everybody a save the date for October for the Eat Local with the counselors.
October
And so
12th, right? Yeah.
Yeah, so we'd love to have you join us. I think it's going to be Sabatinos that we're serving, and I'm just working with them to confirm.
Nice.
And
Excellent.
that's been received well. Senator Lewis, I'm working with his staff to see if he can come in October to do a session to go over the 4 ballot questions. And he'll bring in donuts and coffee, and we're going to invite Stoneham to join us so that it makes the most use of his time. We had him today, but only 3 people came, for example. So we figure if we invite a couple of towns, then it makes it worth it for him to come out and talk about it. And we're trying to work together for some of this programming instead of competing against each other and offering the same thing. Say, hey, I'm offering this, you can offer that, and then you can get more people in there. Not for classes that have wait lists, but for educational programming.
I know resources are very stretched, so please understand, I'm not asking this in a complaining sort of way, but what's the chatter about being able to do some things in the evening or on Saturday? I mean, the ballot questions, for example, people that work could not come to that. People that work Monday through Friday, right? Is there any like, as we, or maybe that's part of the strategic planning process thinking, that to make, some even exercise classes, yoga or other things available in the evening or on a Saturday or something, to serve residents who just can't be there during the day, or they have their grandparents who take care of grandchildren, whatever. There's people that can't come during the day.
Mhm.
So is that somewhere on the pile of challenges? Or-
Yeah, I mean, I think it's worth looking at. I think it's part of it's going to be staffing.
I understand that. No, I totally
supported.
understand that. Yeah, I
We
totally.
definitely, it's something that Judy had talked about pre-COVID, and they've
Yeah.
done a couple of programs, I guess, but they weren't, from what I get from the staff, they weren't hugely attended. But I think it's worth looking at again, absolutely.
Well, I don't think people are aware, for one thing, or people dismiss the senior center because they can't come during the day, so they don't pay attention to what goes on there, even if they wanted to, because they can't. They think of an 8 to 4, 8:30 to 4:30 place. And that's just not accessible to a lot of people because of their daytime responsibilities. And it's not necessarily that a lot of people would come, but it's in terms of serving the older, the seniors of the town of Wakefield, that's something in terms of inclusion, that's something maybe we want to be trying to raise up the flagpole a little more over the next 10 years or so.
Yeah.
Because
Karen, do you stay open later on Thursdays like town hall does?
And I don't think, does town hall still stay open late on Thursdays?
I think they close early on Fridays and
yeah,
they
half
stay
day on Friday, yeah.
Yeah,
6 or
no, we close at 4, Monday through
I'm
Thursday.
just curious, like, that would be a way to maybe have the town, if the town were to cooperate with an idea like that, Susan, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You could- But you
Yeah,
like-
you can't close at noon on Friday when you're serving lunch either, if you're gonna serve lunch, so.
Well,
Right.
even a program could take place at town hall that might, not need as much staffing, or take place at the library that might not need, the staffing is collaborative staffing if that's possible. I mean, there's a lot of things that go on at the library anyway, it's just,
Mm.
Yeah, I definitely think it's worth keeping on our radar and definitely worth considering for future planning to see what kind of events we'd like to offer. I was thinking I'd love to put some intergenerational programming on in the evenings for people. So I definitely think that's something I would like to explore. With one of my thoughts was a dementia support type of a programming or class that we could offer in the evening for people who are living with somebody or the caregiver of somebody with
Yeah.
dementia. So when I talk to different people or people approach me about courses, I'm asking them what their availability is. And a couple have told me they would be willing to come in and do an evening program.
Yeah.
So I'm excited to be able to explore some of those things and go with them. So I've reached out to a few people already asking for that, thinking some nighttime educational offerings might be a good place to start for that.
good. That's,
On the town website, actually, they have them closing at 4:30, so did they maybe not stop, they stopped doing that maybe during the pandemic?
Oh, the town hall you're talking about? Maybe, because they
I
have.
love the idea. I think I completely agree. I think that we miss some people who are not available to come at our normal open hours. So I would love to be able to do some.
Yeah,
doing
and if someone is a caregiver for someone with dementia, they have to either bring them during the day, which might not be feasible, or this would be an opportunity for, I think of a couple, with a wife caring for the demented husband or vice versa. That would be really good.
Or people that are, take care of young grandchildren all day, right?
Yeah, that too, right.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I love the idea of maybe even trying to do an evening meal lecture kind of thing that we bring people in and it gives them a little night. Instead of just a lunch, maybe we can do evening, whatever.
Yeah.
It's resources. It's a resource issue among other things.
Sure. right, right.
But
Keeping the building open, you probably have to have, yeah, it's a whole other thing, I'm
But, you know,
sure.
another way to go at that eventually, and I'm not talking next year, but we'll also be like, all right, so, you know, two Thursdays a month, the senior center's open from 12 to 8 instead of from 8 to 4 or whatever, you know? And that's just the schedule. That just becomes the schedule. Event, you know, that would be another way to do it without adding to staff. I know people don't get too excited about working in the day at night sometimes, but anyway.
If the town,
The town council can give you more money, Karen. That's what could happen, right? Make a note,
You
Mike.
hear that, Mike?
I don't see you writing, Mike.
No, wait, there's the pen. More money.
It's funny that you say that though, because I am not necessarily the money piece, but you know, before pre-COVID, the activities director was a full-time position. And then when Karen retired, it went down to converted and it's part-time. So I have been exploring for next fiscal year, adding a second part-time activities coordinator. And one of my thought processes with that is that gives me flexibility for evening programming because I can have more schedule for that second person that we could for some more things. So those are things that I have on my like future bucket list of this would be great. That I was hoping if we could do strategic planning, we could talk about, but that's definitely something that's been on my radar to talk to you guys about for. I think it would be a good way to have more support for activities and offer, maybe have a late night that we could say, like you said, twice a month we can stay, you know, Thursdays until such and such.
Right. Or even, you know, as Susan had said, even if you can't do it at the senior center, to do it elsewhere that is open, even the library or the civic center, you know, that are open into the evening. Anyway, is the current activities position that is soon to be filled, that's still part-time then?
19 hours.
Whoa. Okay.
Yeah. So it's busy, like because I think we're up to as much programming as pre-COVID. So it is busy for, it is busy to maintain. So
yeah.
We're looking at even potentially adding before the fiscal year with some of the money savings we've had for, like we've had no activities director for 2 months by the time we get somebody on board. So there's some savings there that we brought somebody in 1 day a week. It might give us some help, but I've been very successful with my tax work-off volunteers. I've taken a few here in the center and they've been a big help.
Yeah. And how about Beth? I know she's part-time. Who funds that? Does the senior services fund that, or is that a different funding stream?
Yeah, she's 12 hours a week.
Okay, and I know she's part-time because even, you know, the outreach stuff. Anyway, yeah. It's just under-resourced. Hi, Lorna.
hi.
Is there something else?
Hi.
What else you want to tell us, Karen?
I think that's it for me. We've talked about all of them. You covered them all. Those are my things I wanted to talk to everybody about. So that's good.
Okay, you know that there's a new social worker at the Civic Center.
Yes, Jason Stone. We had a meeting with him yesterday. So he's going to be doing this, like the social services component over there. So I think he's going to be a great addition to the team and a great resource to tap into. I've invited them. I offer the health department because we have our nurse's office downstairs that's only really used for the blood pressure screenings. So I did offer them anytime, because they have a fairly large staff over there now, that they could come over and use our nurse's office anytime they need to have some extra space. So he may come over here sometimes.
He may come over. There's no window in his office.
Yeah, there's no window in that one. So yeah.
Is he part of the health department? Is that it?
Yeah.
And who has access to him? I mean, how do people get to him?
I think this is also being worked out. It's through the health department, but there's been some talk of some things he'll hand off to Beth, but she's only 12 hours a week. So we have to work out some of those details with the health department a bit more about how that will work with the 60 plus individuals.
I mean, is he involved with the schools at all? I mean, the schools have their own.
Yeah, I don't have the schools to my knowledge.
Okay.
The social worker used to be at the police department part-time.
Okay.
Oh, I see. So this is that position. Got
No,
it.
the police department still have Gen W. They still have their social worker.
Oh, Okay,
Yeah.
There's an
Time.
addition, so this is a great resource for the town.
Yeah.
having-
Yes.
I mean, there's just so many people that need extra assistance, so, I mean, I'm thrilled. Of course, I've already heard from him.
Is he
Yeah, we're really
full-time?
excited.
Is he
Yeah.
full-time?
He's gonna be a great addition.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Do we need a
Great.
motion to accept the director's report? So
Yes,
moved.
So moved. I mean, I'm not moving it. Yes, we do. A second, anybody want to second it? Joanne, second. In favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, we can't do, and then I think the last item on the agenda was planning for strategic planning. Or strategic planning going forward, something to that effect.
Yeah,
So-
oh, and I'm sorry, I did leave one thing out. Can I add something?
Mhm.
Yeah.
We're working in conjunction with the health department and Melrose Council on Aging. We did apply for a grant. There's only 8 being given out nationally, so I'm not hugely optimistic that we're going to get it, but it's a dementia friendly type of grant that would provide training for a mid to senior level staff member to attend dementia training and then bring it back to the communities to implement for making dementia friendly type of communities. So we did a partnership with Melrose, Wakefield TOA, and through the health department. So we just submitted that last week. So I will share if we hear any good news, but it was even if we don't get it, we all decided it was a very good project to start because it got the ball rolling for us to really think about ways that we could implement that and collaborating together to tackle some of these things.
Does the COA have a grant writer?
We do not, but we worked with the health department. So after Catherine Dinger wrote it for us, and she and Cara Showers teamed up and wrote it together. And then they sent it out for input. We gave input back. So it was a collaboration with all of us, but they were the primary grant writers.
And what's the timeline for feedback? When will you hear?
It's supposed to be implemented. The training happens this calendar year. So we should hear in the next week if we got it or not. It was a really short turnaround grant.
And whose money? Whose money? Where, do you know where the money comes from?
I don't know who the money came from. It's $48,000, and that incorporates the salary for part of the salary for the person and the cost for their training. I don't know if it was through Alzheimer's or if it was through somebody else. I can't remember who the money came from.
so it'd be dementia training for town employees or the town in general?
Yeah, for making dementia friendly communities.
Okay.
It was a bit ambiguous what the training is completely going to include, other than that it was going to be for bringing it back we believe it encompasses all of it for how to have dementia friendly communities and have the staff be trained on dealing with people with dementia, but it was a bit vague. It was a challenging writing. It's a bit vague what it's all going to be about, but it seemed that I spoke with the Alzheimer's Association in Waltham and they wrote us a letter of support. So
Okay.
hopefully we'll get it, but if not, we're at least ready to watch for the next ones and apply for the next ones.
Well, when the money's available, you gotta go for it, right? Because otherwise the ship sails right by, so good, that's good. That's great then. All right, so that's an addendum to our vote. Do we have to vote on, do we accept the additional item? I move that we accept the expand the addendum to the director's report.
I
Second that. Okay.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
I thank you. Okay. I just want to ask Lauren a question about dementia though. Is that something that comes on the radar of your commission at all? Dementia care, dementia awareness, dementia anything? You're on mute.
It's not a topic that we have brought up, but certainly we have people who have disabilities that unfortunately developed dementia also.
Yeah.
That's something that I should bring up to the full commission board.
I was just wondering, yeah, it seems. And then Karen, I have an additional question, if I can ask it, about collaborations, the youth council, anything? I know the kids just went back to school, but is there any discussion with anybody in the youth commission? Like we had the young woman last before you came, we had a
We did,
liaison.
Yeah, we did. We worked with them this summer. We did an event, an ice cream social, and they also did a talk with the seniors about healthy living, and they provided little goodie bags. I had COVID tests and snack and a resource sheet. And then they're going to work with us for Snow Angels again this year.
Nice. Okay, good, great.
I want to reach out to them to see if they potentially want to come in and do like a craft or something, that they could lead the craft and we could have some type of something program like that, another joint thing, because the participants who came loved them. It was a great event.
Excellent. Okay.
Can I ask a question? It took us a couple of years to finally get a youth council person on the Commission for Disabilities. And actually, she's resigning from this year from the board because of her other commitments to school. Do you have to apply every year to ask for someone, or do they automatically now fill it? Because it took me 2 years to finally get them to, sign one to us. Bless you.
Bless you.
Thank you.
I think Catherine Dinger would be a good person to ask for that, because I don't know the answer.
She's pretty hard to get a hold of,
Oh.
but I will try.
I can try and share that too.
Pardon me?
Email is always good. I find that she.
I
you
know,
responds.
I've tried
Yeah.
email in the past.
Yeah.
I know she's got, she's got a lot of responsibilities, that's for sure. Okay, I will try again.
Okay. Well, maybe you could get in touch with Mike I don't know, Mike, what your role exactly is, because that's the Disability Commission, but maybe there's a lever you could pull. I don't know, push. I don't know who Catherine Dingle is. I'm sorry to say, I'm embarrassed to say, but it sounds like she works for the town, so.
Yeah, I mean, I can certainly try to reach out as well. I'm also liaison to Lorna's group, although their meeting
Okay.
was the same night as our meeting. So that's why I wasn't there, because we met at the same time. So I'll poke around.
Okay, I mean, it sounds like a yes or no question, and if it's no, then is there something we can and should do about it? I don't know. Or,
Yeah.
youth council can speak up and see what they can do about it.
Yeah, I have the same experience. I mean, sometimes I'll send an email and I just don't hear anything for a while. And you don't want to be a pest and call somebody multiple times, but maybe I'll reach out next, and then if I don't learn anything, then we'll kick it back to you, Lorna.
Tag team.
There you go. Share the wealth.
All right, thank you. Okay, Karen, do you want to talk about strategic planning and what you're thinking?
So I'm a bit bummed because I was hoping we could get together in a room to do
Yeah.
strategic planning, but it sounds like right now the town doesn't have the hybrid capability and we have to offer it. We have to offer the Zoom in option. So I don't know if we're going to have hybrid capability anytime soon. So we could either try and plan for Zoom. I think that's very difficult to do. But for transparency and to maintain open meeting law, at this time, they want us to have it just Zoom. I don't know if that'll change in a couple of months, because I did go to a somewhat hybrid meeting the other day, but I don't know how ready it is to go for a bigger potential audience. The main thing, and we could do some of it just here at the meetings, it's fine. I think we just did a little bit of it now, talking about making a goal for evening programming. So maybe we just do it that way and talk about future goals, what we'd like to see added. But those are the main things I wanted to talk about, was that, in all honesty, looking at what the needs assessment are, getting a needs assessment out there at some point, and then using that to determine some ideas for future programming, whether it be evening programming or different offerings. To see, like we're trying all kinds of different things right now to see what seems to work. Tuesday, for example, it was awesome. We had poker, 2 tables of bridge, and a table of scat going on downstairs. So we had a lot of card players here. But to see what other things were missing that people might be interested in.
Cool. Okay, so
The
along
town
the,
would,
Go ahead.
Sorry, Susan, the town wouldn't allow us to like try to do some kind of hybrid on our own, like with a laptop and just have it on the table.
Maybe I'll ask next month. I'll give it a little time and then I'll ask again, like, oh, how about if we do it this way?
Well, I
And
mean,
see
it's not a requirement by the state right now to offer a hybrid, but it's kind of being encouraged, and I'm sure it might change the open meeting law and require it. It's just that people don't have all the capability of doing it. A lot of small boards in towns probably don't have the capability of creating a room, which has that technology in it. And then figuring out how they're going to get all their boards and committees into this room, we're going to try that at the Housing Authority this month. We're going to try to do we've been meeting in person, but we're going to try to do we're going to bring a laptop with us with a microphone, and we're going to see how it goes. So I'll let you know how it goes. If it's, as long as I have someone to man the laptop and I don't have to do it, you know what I mean? So if we have one of us can volunteer to do that. I'm just throwing it out there. It just might.
Yeah, maybe we can share your success story and see.
Success.
See if we could do that.
Or embarrassment.
Your learning
So
experience.
is the requirement that it be open so someone could call in and attend the meeting, or is it that it be recorded? What is the?
I think it's more that it can be attended. For the same reason that we can't meet in person right now. I think I don't know as much as the recording. I think it's mostly that people can attend.
Okay, so people can attend. I get it. So that your little plan would work, Maureen, then.
Yeah, it's not required yet. Because they, they did change the open meeting law during the pandemic to include, so that we could do remote meetings and continue business during the shutdown. But now I think everybody, has found that it was a great tool. And a lot of people participated in meetings. And so they want to continue that and offer that to people. I think you would do it too if someone asked you for a reasonable accommodation and for whatever reason they couldn't physically get there, you'd try to accommodate them. I don't know. I mean, I'll let you know how mine goes.
So how is the notice going to go out, Maureen? Is the town going to send the notice out and then?
We'll post the agenda that we're going to meet in person. We meet at Crystal View on Broadway in person. Okay. And that I'll put a link on there too for the meeting. Okay. So it's either or. It's just that, where we have some concerns about, being able to do it so that it's clear and that people can hear. And so we'll see how it goes. Right. I mean, a lot of people have been doing it. My friend that runs the Salem Housing Authority, she said she's been doing it all along, the hybrid kind of thing for probably about a year now. And she says, it does work.
Good.
So. But I know the town's trying to set up a room, which is obviously the best plan.
Right, but then it limits who can use it and.
Right, there's a lot of town boards and committees and a lot of people meet maybe at the same time. So it's going to be a scheduling thing for the town and a staffing thing, because if they're going to set up a room at town hall, they got to open up town hall. So I'm sure that's why the state probably, they allowed this to go on, the remote meetings. And, I think they're trying to figure that out right now, if they can make it permanent.
So town meeting, which I didn't read the details, I just read the notice about the date. Is that going to be a hybrid or is it just going to be in person? Anybody know? Coming up in November?
I bet that's a hybrid. I bet they are. Mike might know.
I really don't know. I'd have to ask Steve what the plan is.
Yeah, okay, just curious. I just made me think of it based on what you're saying, Maureen, so.
Yeah, and on this development of the meetings, I mean, I was at an MMA function and you hear people from, for example, Western Mass, a woman who's on a select board who's running all these meetings off her home computer. I mean, we in Wakefield have, we may not be wealthy, but we have a little bit more ability to do some of this than some of these other communities. So the Commonwealth is dealing with that aspect of it too. If you live in a small Western Mass community, you may not have the funds or the ability to do everything that's being required. So then the question
Right.
is, is the Commonwealth going to help pay for some of this if they require it? So there's a lot going on, and
Mm.
I was going to ask whether Karen had talked to Steve, because I thought there was some progress on getting a multifunctional room, or whatever you want to call it. Maybe they're just not there yet.
I did. I talked to Sherry and Steve both, and right now it's on hold, but who knows what that will be in a month if they've made some progress on getting it set up. So I'm optimistic that maybe it won't be forever. We might be able to figure out a way to be able to all be in the same room to do some planning on future, like the needs assessment, and potentially looking at that next designation after age-friendly for dementia-friendly.
Right, and I know you're very busy, but I wouldn't mind coming in and just chatting with you for an hour sometime, maybe next week, if you've got the time.
Yeah, just let me know what works for you, and we can make it happen. Any day but Friday next week, because I'm here by myself because Mary Ann's out. So any day but Friday.
Okay, are you on the town email?
Yes, I'm K Burke 1 though. K Burke is Karen Burke at the rec department, so I have a 1 after mine. K Burke 1.
I
Good to
noticed
know.
that today. I'm like, hey, Burke 1, there must be another one.
Yeah, I feel bad for her because she gets a lot of my emails.
I'm sure she does.
Okay, so the conversation about strategic planning is TBD, to be continued, TBC, and with particular feedback from Maureen. Maureen, when's your hybrid meeting that you're gonna try?
It is the last week of September, like
So by next month, you'll
7th or something, whatever the 27th is, yeah.
you'll
maybe
be able to
that-
tell us how that went, and then maybe.
Yeah, I'll let you know, and then we can, see if the town thinks that that's okay for us to try to do that. The other thing is, the strategic planning meetings, if we don't have a quorum, there's no reason why we couldn't get together.
Right. It's not really.
Because then it doesn't have to be, you know what I mean, a public meeting.
It's a cup of coffee meeting, I mean.
Yeah.
Well, and didn't
have
Mike say,
subcommittees.
yeah, I mean, didn't Mike say something about the town board, the town councilor meeting that's not necessarily open? It's like a retreat or something. You call it something else. Didn't you
Yeah,
speak
we
about
called it a
that?
retreat, but it was still open. I mean, it
Oh,
was
it
still,
was.
it was still
Okay.
noticed, yeah.
Oh,
It's
okay.
just that for whatever reason, maybe the word retreat, scares people off. I don't know. But nobody came except for us.
Oh, interesting. Okay. Oh, I had thought you had said there was a way to do it. You had figured out how to
No,
do.
there's no way around it. It's just,
Yeah,
it was just, for some reason, the retreat,
Well,
someone
the
could
way
come.
around, yeah.
So if
just
you
don't
guys want to
have a
go to the
quorum.
retreat, you can do it next year,
Are you
Don't
going to the
look up-
Cape? Are you gonna go to the Cape or Bermuda?
Yeah,
Where are you
go-
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
no, I wish.
gonna-
I think
We were at the AmeriCal Civic Center. That's where we were.
Okay.
Ooh, fancy.
Joanne,
Yeah.
you were gonna say something?
Yeah, in terms of the town meeting, I think it's live only that people can vote and participate. It's filmed, so it's on TV, but you can't really participate in it at all unless you're there.
You can't go up to a mic and speak, you mean, that kind of participation?
You have to be there in person to vote or
Yep.
participate, yeah.
Well, you have to call in as like this meeting, because it's posted in the, it's posted that people could attend this meeting. But they'd have to, to participate, they'd have to join at 6:30.
But I think what Joanna's saying is town meeting, if you, when there's voting
Oh.
items that come up.
Oh,
Can
right. Yeah.
And I mean, nobody can vote here except for those that are officially able to vote, right?
Right.
So-
Oh, I see what you're saying.
But,
Sure.
residents who can vote in person on a whatever is before the
Have-
town meeting, yeah.
I get
I
it.
don't
So
know
yeah,
that, I don't know that there's any ability at town meeting, or any desire so far to actually have people voting from their computer screens.
Yeah,
That's a lot to manage, I think. That would be hard to, even if people wanted to speak from home, how do you manage that with the people in the
Yeah.
room? It's,
right.
to me, it
Right.
sounds like a, logistical kind of, bless you, nightmare,
Yeah.
but,
yeah.
Well, this is
So
a
I'll let
learning
you know how
curve.
mine goes and we'll
Okay,
see how
good
we
luck
do.
with it. Yeah, good luck. It's gonna go fine. You know, you're gonna learn things. So that's always good.
Yeah,
That's always good.
technology. I
Right.
have one more thing, if I can, Karen, ask you. I remember last meeting, we talked about adding an agenda item that was like all other items not anticipated by the board, you know, the language that the town council uses.
Yeah, so what I'm hoping maybe we could do is I will get the agenda out to everybody 2 weeks ahead of the meeting so that if you want to add
Yeah.
anything to the agenda, you can add it and then I
Okay.
can add it to the agenda and then send it to Sherry 1 week before. I have to send it 72 hours ahead. But then we
Yeah.
can just add it instead of having that vague one. Any topics people want to add, you send back to me. I put it on the
Oh,
agenda.
okay.
And have a new agenda.
So you don't want to add that just as a regular agenda item? I've noticed that a lot of committees do that. We actually put it on our agenda as well.
We could do that too. We could add it on there. For some reason, I thought I got told not to do that last time, but I could try again.
Yeah.
Oh, you did? Oh, all right, that's fine.
Yeah, I
I thought you
thought
got
that's
told
what-
to do it, so I thought.
Well, maybe.
Yeah, no, I thought you had said you didn't think you could do it, Karen.
Because I thought it was too similar to new business or because it was too unknown, but I can
Yeah.
ask that again, but hopefully if we capture it with people just adding anything they want to talk about onto the agenda when I send it out, and I'll just start sending that earlier. that everybody
Hypothetical
is-
though, if a member of the public were to come to this meeting, because they're invited, right? And they had
Mhm.
something they wanted to bring up that wasn't included in any of the other agenda items, would they be able to do it then, or would they have to wait until the next time? You know what I'm saying? Like, where is there space for somebody to bring up something that may
think
not have
We
been?
have to add a public comment portion at the beginning. I know when I was my commission on disability in Melrose, we had a public comment that we opened the meeting with public comments
Okay,
first, and it was like timed like 5 minutes or whatever. But I think we could add public comments to the beginning, and if somebody comes, they could bring it up there. But yeah, Maureen, I'll ask if we can use that language, that specific language. and
We
not
don't
open-
have to. I just remember us talking about it and I went and looked up the town councils, you know, and I figure if that language is okay on the bottom of their agenda, that it would be acceptable for all other town committees and boards. That was
So,
just
yeah.
my thought.
Yeah, definitely. Maybe I might have misheard it, so that's very possible that we could put it that way and just not the new business.
Yeah, it's not a requirement or anything. Just kind of would, just in case something came up within those 72 hours that you really maybe needed a vote on,
right,
you
right,
know, without calling a special meeting would allow for you to
right.
do that, but
Okay,
just kind of,
I'll ask.
and it would only be like.
On the Disability Commission, we have public participation, and it's listed in our agenda, and it's like first thing on the list. I mean, after we get through the ritual stuff of the opening of the meeting, but we do have public participation.
Oh,
People
good.
should know to just, when it's put in the paper, it's where the link is there and everything. So
Mhm.
occasionally we have people come in and do public participation online.
Okay.
Okay, I'll
Doesn't
add that in
happen
there.
all the time.
Okay, is there anything else before we entertain a motion to adjourn? Anything from the town, Mike, you want to tell us, or from the Disability Commission that we should know that we don't know yet?
No, I would just say that, you had mentioned the health department. We did have a vote this year to increase the staffing over there, and that's probably why we're seeing the increased staffing. So, the votes have consequences, and we did do an expansion. Now we just have to find a place to put everybody.
Mm,
But I think our space I think we're doing pretty well on town hall space. I don't think it's a big problem.
Yeah, no, I think I was just trying to lure him over here. I'm like, oh, look at what I have for you. Come on over.
yeah.
Yeah,
Beautiful
Yeah.
building, parking, all that.
I think that was a very good strategy on your part.
Yeah, absolutely.
Coming over to see me next week too, so I'm gonna offer him some space.
Oh, she'll give him something else too, a fan or air conditioning.
He's already
Free
been,
lunch.
though. He said he's already had like 5 housing questions. I'm like, oh, I bet.
Free lunch. Lord, anything you want to tell us or ask us or contribute that you haven't shared already?
Well, we just got back to, meeting this past week, because the first Monday was Labor Day. And, we've got a fairly full agenda of things that we want to try to accomplish this year. And part of it has to do with, trying to find out how to work with the builders around, housing that is, units that are, either fit for or can be adapted to, people with disabilities in affordable housing.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
That's one of our top ones, actually. We had a lot of other things on the agenda, but I can probably report on better when I get my minutes.
So that would be also, I know the master plan, and how that gets inputted into the master plan too. It sounds like something that could be tossed in that direction too. Not to pass it off to us, but, because housing is a big thing, right? Housing is a big, big thing. Okay. Well, Karen, are you good if we adjourn? Do you need us to do anything else?
No, thank you all for the support, and hopefully I'll see some of you on the 12th for Eat Local
Yeah.
on October 12th with our counselors.
Thank you for
Yeah.
inviting us. Yeah. Okay, and anyone want a motion to adjourn?
Make a
I'll
motion
move.
to adjourn.
Who said that?
Maureen,
Maureen?
Maureen, you've got them all tonight. You're
I
quick.
got all the motions tonight.
All
I'll
right, who wants
second
to
it.
second? All right, Flo
I'll
second.
second it.
All in favor? Aye.
I,
All right, thank you, everybody. Have a nice mid-month and
Yeah, great.
enjoy the weather that's coming.
Yeah,
our
you
way.
too. Enjoy the
Thank you.
Cape.
Right.
Yeah, thank you so much.
All right.
Okay.
All right.
Thank
All right,
you very
Good night.
much.
Yeah,
night.
bye-bye. Thanks.
Have a
Bye-bye.
good night.
Good night.
Good night.